I was standing at the altar in a $12,000 wedding dress, looking straight into the eyes of the man who'd been sleeping with my best friend for 2 years. And I smiled, because in exactly 4 minutes, I was going to destroy his entire life in front of 200 people. But I had no idea that what would happen after would change everything I thought I knew about loyalty, friendship, and revenge. Let me take you back to the beginning. I met Mark at a coffee shop in Boston, spilled my latte all over his laptop. Classic romantic comedy setup, right? He laughed it off, asked for my number instead of my insurance information. Within 6 months, we were inseparable. Within a year, he was down on one knee at the same coffee shop, and I said yes before he even finished the question. Mark was everything I'd ever wanted. Successful architect, devastatingly handsome, and he had this way of making me feel like I was the only person in the room. My friends loved him. My parents adored him. My best friend since college, Vanessa, she thought he was perfect. But here's the thing about perfect men. They don't exist. The first sign came 8 months before the wedding. I was using Mark's iPad to look up caterers. Mine had died. And a notification popped up. Just a flash, gone in a second. But I caught 2 words. Miss you. From a number saved under Dave, work. Weird, because Mark didn't work with anyone named Dave. I told myself it was nothing. I was being paranoid. Wedding stress. But that sick feeling in my stomach, it never went away. It just sat there, rotting. 3 months before the wedding, I found the second sign. I was doing laundry. His shirt smelled like perfume. Not mine. Something floral, expensive, unmistakable. When I asked him about it, he laughed. Probably Sarah from accounting. She's a hugger. He said it so naturally, so effortlessly that I almost believed him. Almost. But what happened next? I still can't believe it. I did something I'm not proud of. I checked his phone while he was sleeping, and there it was. Hundreds of messages, photos, voice notes, 2 years of lies hidden under a contact named Dave, work. The messages were explicit, romantic, devastating, and the photos told me something I never expected. I recognized the bedroom in the background. I'd been in that room 1,000 times. It was Vanessa's apartment, my best friend, the woman who'd helped me pick out my wedding dress, who threw my bridal shower, who was going to be my maid of honor, had been sleeping with my fiancé since before he even proposed to me. I sat on the bathroom floor at 3 a.m., my whole body shaking, scrolling through message after message. Can't wait till after the wedding, then we'll be free. She has no idea. You're the one I really want. Each word was a knife, and I read every single one. And then I found something that made my blood run cold. Financial records, hidden accounts. Mark had been funneling money from our joint savings into an account I'd never seen. $47,000. Gone. He was building a nest egg. Not for us, but for them. There was a property listing bookmarked on his browser. A 2-bedroom condo. In Vanessa's name. That's when something inside me shifted. The crying stopped. The shaking stopped. I felt nothing. Just cold. Clean nothing. And honestly, that scared me more than anything. I had 2 choices. I could confront them, scream, cry, call off the wedding, and spend the next year recovering. Or I could do something that nobody would ever forget. I chose option 2. For the next 3 months, I planned. I didn't tell a single soul. Not my parents, not my sister, not my therapist. I smiled at Mark every morning. I had brunch with Vanessa every Sunday. I played the role of the perfect, oblivious bride-to-be while secretly building my case. I documented everything. Screenshots, bank records. I even hired a private investigator, a retired cop who owed my uncle a favor. Within 2 weeks, he had photos, timestamps, hotel receipts. The evidence was bulletproof. Then I started preparing the wedding. But not the wedding anyone expected. I edited the slideshow. You know, the cute one that plays during the reception. Our love story. I kept the first half exactly as it was: childhood photos, our first date, the proposal, sweet, romantic, tear-jerking. But the second half? I replaced every photo with screenshots of their messages. The explicit ones, the ones where they laughed about how stupid I was, the hotel receipts, the property listing. I set it to play automatically at the reception. No one could stop it once it started. I also prepared envelopes, 200 of them, one for every guest. Inside each envelope, a printed summary of the affair, the financial fraud, and a QR code linking to a shared Google Drive with all the evidence. I tucked them under every dinner plate at the reception hall the night before, but that's when everything changed. The morning of the wedding, I was in the bridal suite, putting on my dress. My hands were steady. My heart was calm. Vanessa walked in, wearing her maid of honor dress, lavender, my choice. And she looked at me with those big brown eyes and said, "You look so beautiful. Mark is the luckiest man alive." I looked at her and smiled. "Thank you, V. You've been the best friend a girl could ever ask for." She hugged me. She actually hugged me. And I let her. The ceremony started at 4 p.m. 200 guests, a string quartet, rose petals down the aisle. I walked toward Mark, and for a split second, just one, I felt the old love, the real love, the love that made me say yes in that coffee shop a lifetime ago. And then I saw him wink at Vanessa. The officiant went through the standard opening. "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here." Then came the vows. Mark went first. He talked about destiny, about finding your soulmate, about how I was the best thing that ever happened to him. People were crying. His mother was sobbing. Then it was my turn. I unfolded a piece of paper, took a deep breath, and I started reading. "Mark, when I met you, I thought I'd found the one person I could trust completely. I gave you my heart, my savings, and my future. In return, you gave me lies." The room went quiet. "You've been sleeping with my maid of honor for 2 years. You've stolen 47,000 Tarsnolens from our joint account. You've been building a life with her while pretending to build one with me." Mark's face went white. Vanessa stood frozen behind me. The entire room was dead silent. "I want every person in this room to look under their dinner plate tonight. You'll find everything you need to know about the real Mark." His mother screamed. His father stood up. Mark grabbed my arm. "You're insane, this is crazy." And I pulled away. "Don't touch me. You lost that right the night you first crawled into her bed." I turned to the 200 guests. "I'm sorry you all dressed up for this. The bar is open. Enjoy the food. I paid for it." And I walked out, alone, in a $12,000 dress, down the aisle I'd dreamed about since I was 5 years old. And I didn't look back. But the story doesn't end there, not even close. The slideshow played at the reception. I wasn't there, but my sister filmed it. Mark tried to unplug the projector. Someone, I still don't know who, stopped him. The entire room watched their messages scroll across a 10-foot screen. By midnight, the video was on social media. By morning, Mark's firm put him on administrative leave. Turns out stealing from your fiancé's joint account is actually fraud. My lawyer had already filed. Vanessa tried calling me 47 times in 3 days. I didn't answer once. But here's the twist that nobody, including me, saw coming. 2 weeks after the wedding that wasn't, I got a message from an unknown number. "You don't know me, but I know what you did, and I need to tell you something about Vanessa." It was a woman named Claire. She'd been Vanessa's roommate in grad school, and she told me something that rewrote everything. Vanessa had done this before, not once, not twice, but 4 times. She targeted women in relationships, befriended them, then slept with their partners. Claire was her first victim, then a woman named Priya, then a girl named Jo, and now me. It wasn't random. It was a pattern, a compulsion, maybe even a game. Claire had tried to warn me 2 years ago. She'd sent a message to my old email, the one I'd abandoned when I switched to Gmail. I never saw it. If you're still with me, a quick like really helps the channel. Trust me, the ending is worth it. Claire and I contacted Priya and Joe. All four of us had the same story. Vanessa would befriend the woman, gain her trust, then systematically seduce the partner. When the relationship imploded, Vanessa would comfort the heartbroken woman and do it all over again with someone new. We went public, together. An interview with a local news station turned into a viral segment. Vanessa Exposed trended for 3 days. Her LinkedIn was flooded with messages. Her employer, a therapist's office, if you can believe the irony, terminated her. Mark. He settled the fraud case out of court, paid back every penny plus damages. Last I heard, he moved to Portland and deleted all his social media. And me. I used the settlement money to take a year off. Traveled, healed, started a support group for people who've been betrayed by the people closest to them. It meets every Thursday. I don't hate Mark anymore. I don't hate Vanessa. I don't feel anything about either of them. And honestly, that's the best revenge of all. If this story gave you chills, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment. Would you have gone through with the wedding, or would you have confronted them privately? I read every single comment. And if you haven't already, check out my other story about the cult I escaped from. Trust me, it's even crazier than this one.